My goal this year is to go fishing with you guys, all right? Fishing means I'm going to try to bring the entire audience, this is a massive audience, into the discussion, into the talk, and then I'm going to take you back out, leave you alone, and then I'm going to push you to go somewhere and I'm going to walk away, all right? That's inshallah the feelings I hope to generate inside here, or maybe both. There's a few rules. You're going to see throughout the talk, this will spin. Every time this spins, there's going to be a little text that comes up on the spinner. As soon as the text comes up, I want the audience to just shout out as in unison as you can what that text is. That's my way of trying to bring you all into the talk. Does that make sense? That will spin. You'll wait for the audio, you'll wait for the text to come up, and then it'll happen. Is Sayyid Mustafa, is he still sick? You have a mic? It's one line, and you'll see why only you can do it. Not now. You'll know when you have to do it. All right? It's just one small line. All right, guys? Are you ready? All right. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. رب اشرح لي صدري. This one's a long one, so. رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقه قولي. So we want to talk about renovating the house of Islam, because that is this year's conference's theme. So we had help from none other than the greatest Steve Jobs. He sat with us around a table and gave us a note. And that note was, he wants to put a ding in the universe. A lot like he did with the iPhone, like with iTunes, like with the Apple computer. You notice, he's not even wearing his normal black turtleneck and blue jeans. He actually dressed up for this meeting because he knew who he was talking to. This wasn't no joke. And so we sat together and we had a good discussion. And that's where actually, you guys don't even know it, but the theme of the conference came from. But the theme of the conference was just a subset of a much larger project. And that much larger project that we actually have working behind the scenes is this one. The goal is to be able to build the smart home of the future. That entails to be able to have every component in your house connected to the internet, be collecting data and learning about how you live to adapt itself as best for you. In our case, because we're Muslims, we want to renovate the house of Islam to help us become more Islamic. And so the first thing that's going to be renovated is going to be the Alright, you guys, whatever. So the smart fridge has addressed a very specific problem. This is what our fridges look like nowadays, right? Maybe not mine, but your guys's, right? It's old, you guys got all these ugly magnets and things all over it, you know, family pictures and stuff. We want to digitize all this now, right? We want to move it towards something that's a bit better. Secondly, it doesn't help Muslims in specific. Why not? Because we just shove random things in there, right? We still have to go all the way to the grocery store, buy something. Well, before we buy it, we all have to check these labels that are in like font size like 2, right? To look and see, does it have the specific thing that was extracted from this kind of meat that was dead in this kind of place and was killed in that certain way? What if our fridge could just do that for us? And so what we invented was the fridge of the future. Complete digitization. Syncs with your phone's photos, so that way you don't have to hit all these magnets on it. It's now programmable to be able to define and scan anything you buy that you want to put in your fridge. And you can see, it's even on sale right now. The brother that was leading to this, you know his attention to detail. He won't let the salesperson forget anything. And so he's going to come and ensure that every single setting of this fridge is validated. We have 5 amazing settings. There's the super religious, where if you won't eat even the vegetables that touched a piece of meat that was cooked in an oil that was brought from some other country that is not Muslim. And then you have those who just don't bother, whatever. But it's not just those 2 settings. You got everything in between. You can say this, you can have it on the setting of say Bismillah, it'll become halal, and it'll listen for you saying Bismillah, and then your meat's halal immediately. You can see Brother Ahmed's doing a great job trying to sell this fridge for all these people, paying that attention to detail. So once we're done with the fridge, we're moving on to the next item, which is the bathroom. Is the place that we do the most thinking, believe it or not. It's amazing the ideas that you come up with while you're in the bathroom. But what's happening is you're sitting in a bathroom like this. Ugh, right? I mean, who wants to sit in this for a long time? Sayyid Mustafa was the one who was able to help us renovate this one by giving us a private tour of his own bathroom. Look at that. Don't you want to just sleep in there? I mean, oh my God.
Salam Mustafa Mortada. You look good today.
His Siri is even embedded in it. It's amazing. It converses with him. It understands him. I always wondered, where did the idea of reviving this great group come from? Where did he find his team? And when he gave us the tour of the bathroom, I was like, oh man. Sayyid Mustafa, will you do me the honors, please?
Did you see the new bathroom, Baba?
Would you read the line?
Mirror mirror on the wall. Who's the most religious of them all?
Mustafa, you are the fairest here, so true. But Ahmad is 1,000 times more religious than you.
Of course you want a guy like Brother Ahmed on your team after the mirror tells you that he's 1,000 times more religious than you. From a mirror on the wall, searching all of the Muslims across all the United States, bringing the people that best match Sayyid Mustafa's preferences. All right, so we have our bathroom. We can come up with our great ideas now. Let's move on to the smart. We all love relaxing. We love talking. We love sitting down and just chatting. But what if our living room, instead of being decorated with just general wall art, right? We go by all these nice little podiums. How many people in here have seen Harry Potter? Raise your hands. All right. Well, for those who haven't, you're not missing much. There is a great idea from the Harry Potter series, though. Have you guys seen the newspapers? Do you have to read the newspapers anymore? You don't have to read the newspapers anymore, do you? Why? Because if you guys saw, especially the one with Sirius Black, as soon as you pick up that newspaper, he's just like yelling at you, right? So the picture frames are able to give you what is actually happening in the story, rather than you even reading it. And so what we did was we flipped these picture frames and we made them to listen to your conversations. And if you do ghiba, guess what's going to go up there? So of course, when we all go back home, the first thing we're all going to be talking about is, of course, Sayyid Mustafa's bathroom, right? Like, I mean, oh my God. And his picture will go whoop, right up on the frame, and it won't come down. So can you imagine, would you ever invite Sayyid Mustafa to your house? Because now he knows as soon as he walks in, you did ghiba. You have Brother Jihad at the entrance desk. You have the kitchen staff. Man, we're just full of ghiba after this conference, aren't we? And of course, there's this guy who tried to sell me an overpriced fridge. So now, our living room ensures that our conversations stay within the realm away from ghiba. Because I sure don't want anybody else's picture up there. Because I would eventually have no friends, right? I'm talking about everybody, and everybody's picture frame is going up there. So now that I've been able to control what I say, I need to move on and develop the next smart thing. And we're going to wrap this up quickly. going to go to a 21st century prayer rug. It's amazing, all right? To go with Hajj Ali's glow-in-the-dark toilet paper and toilet from last night, you now have a glow-in-the-dark prayer rug. It's equipped with all the modern features. You have a Qibla finder, so that way you don't have to get into the arguments anymore. You'll be like, oh no, we already have that, right? Already in some of these. That's not innovative. This one's actually right, all right? We have a digital rak'ah counter, so you don't have to go through that spring push button of a turba, all right? So now it automatically counts. But we've added one more thing. When you go to sajda, it'll actually see how focused you are, right? And so for all of you from Michigan, if you're thinking about the Lions, get ready. It's gonna zap you like nobody's business. All right? So now this will ensure that as you're in sajda, you're focused in prayer. The last piece of the house that we want to make intelligent is, very good. Smart lights learn to adapt to where you are in the house, to automatically turn on and off if you haven't heard of them. We've added one more thing to these smart lights, and they'll actually change color as well. That's a third dimension, right? This is actually really innovative. If it's yellow, it's spirituality. If it's green, it's humbleness. If it's purple, it's ego. If it's orangish, it's jealousy. And if it's red, it's anger. So if you're in a room and all of a sudden the colors of the light tend to change, it means you're actually changing your feelings. So I don't know if you guys are like me at all, but what happens is when I'm on the phone sometimes, I tend to just like pace, right? And you don't realize how tired you get until you actually hang up the phone. And then you're like, why am I so exhausted? Did that dude honestly talk to me for that long? And then you're like, oh wait, I just walked like 10 miles while I was on this 30-minute phone conversation, right? So when Sayyid Mustafa called me this year, we didn't talk for 10 hours, right? When Sayyid Mustafa called me this year for the TED Talk, the conversation started like this. I walked into my room lights were off. Assalamu alaikum, Sayyid Mustafa, it's so great hearing from you. Yes, alhamdulillah, everything's very well, very spiritual. Thank you so much for your great comments about all of the feedback from all the TED Talk. It really wasn't me, it was my team. But you know, it is getting hard and I am getting pretty good at it, so you know who's coming if you're gonna really be arranging for me to come this year. But wait, you invited other people? Are those other people able to deliver the talk as long as I can? Really? Well then why didn't you coordinate this when they begin with? And so my lights go through the entire range of emotions as I'm on this one phone conversation. And I can start to fix the way I am based on the color of my lights to ensure that my feelings are appropriate. But it wasn't helping me much. It really wasn't. And so I really want to start renovating the house of Islam. And I saw it just wasn't working externally. And so what I did was I thought back to some of the experiences that I had. I love the experiences from Hajj. It's unbelievable. Inshallah, we all have the opportunity to go and visit the house of God in our ihram. But the first step in Hajj, believe it or not, is not you going in Hajjul Akbar. It's not you actually going to the Kaaba. Allah says, you come to me in your ihram, get out. Leave from Mecca. And you walk back and you go towards Mina. And you look back at the Kaaba, Allah, am I far enough? And He says, no, go, leave. And so you go towards Muzdalifah and you're like, Ya Allah, I'm so far away, I came to see you. He says, leave, go to Arafah. He said, what's in Arafah? Arafah is just a barren land with these people. There's nothing here. I came to see you, Allah. What is going on? And then as I start to look and think in my loneliness and really start to reflect on who I am, I realize I'm nobody, but at the same time, I'm everybody. وَسَخَّرَ لَكُمْ الشَّمْسَ وَالْقَمَرَ. Allah has made everything for you. What a noble stature. But He says He's made you for Himself. And with that knowledge now, I restart my journey through this grand land. From Arafah, I begin not with me, but with us. And I begin to collect my tools, now that I know who I am, the capabilities and skills to let me progress in this life and stand in front of any obstacle or Satan that comes in front of me. Whether it's a small curveball in life, or whether it's a 70-year-old, rich, white man with a bad hairdo that is going and spreading fear about my ethnicity and my religion and who I am. No, no, no. Nothing will stop me. Nothing from reaching my Lord, because I know I don't need this. I don't need the renovation of a house. I don't need all these things because I have something bigger. I have a core of lessons that were derived from this Quran. And I will follow each and every line as best I can and learn what it has for me, because it has told me what I have to do. And I will stand ready as I prepare to stand alongside my Imam. So